Yes, people, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. But more importantly, it is a blue morning on Chelsea Perspective. And I am very happy to have Drug Baba in the house. Drug Baba, welcome to Chelsea Perspective.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much. An absolute pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I must let you know, brother, I followed you since I saw you on Anket's channel. That is Almighty Blues FC, and I admire your knowledge of football, especially from the perspective of Chelsea Football Club. And you're always representing. And man, I can't thank you enough for finding time to be here with me. That means a lot to me. Yeah, but before we continue, I'd like to take a good sip of this coffee here. That will help wake me up. It is it is 3:02 a.m. here, so it's never easy. And I appreciate those that followed you to this place. That means a lot to me. I saw Devesh. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Arav, you're all welcome to Chelsea Perspective. I appreciate you all for finding time to join the conversation. So, Drug Baba, we all know it's you could say it's a dark period for we, the Chelsea fans. And how are you feeling, man? How are you coping with it?
To be honest, the feeling is still like I'm not, getting my mind to believe that this news is true. Like I still have this tiny bit of hope that something, might happen and Roman stays, he does not go, but that is not going to happen. The way things are moving so fast, definitely the club will be sold in next 7 to 10 days. Or it might also happen that we might hear the news this evening or tomorrow also. Like the pace with which the things are moving is absolutely crazy. 1 month ago we did not even imagine that this something of this could, let alone 1 month, 15 days ago only we could not imagine that something of this sort could happen.
Yeah.
But it is absolutely heartbreaking. I absolutely broke down on my watch along in the Luton versus Chelsea game. I was crying for the first half an hour of the stream. I was in absolute tears. I was absolutely in pieces. Big up to all the brothers, not only just the Chelsea fans, but all the fans of other clubs also, who really pulled me through that stream and really helped me out. Ankit bro was there, so he was there on the watch along, and he really settled the situation. And I was in pieces. I did not know how to react, and still I can't believe what is happening right now. So as you said, put it correctly, it is a very dark period as a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, it is. That is a dark moment indeed. I broke down too. I couldn't believe it. I was reading the statement, and there are sections of the statements he released that are quite touching. That's reflective of the fact that he's a human being. He's a good person. He's even a better person than those that are persecuting him. And it's surprisingly, most of us did not know how attached we've become to the man until that statement. A lot of people, hearts were really broken. But that's by the way, I think we just hopefully, like you said, anything can happen in a few days, and I hope if by any chance it becomes that's we're hearing that he stays, because they're saying that the British government they don't have the process in place to sanction him. But again, at the same time, you'd think that the man probably he's at this point tired of whenever there's an issue, he becomes a target because of his popularity and because of the person he is. Do you think that's a chance that will not happen? Because some people are hopeful it wouldn't.
See, even if it does not happen, the air is such, there is such so much negativity in the air that they would not let Roman Abramovich stay also. Even if Roman Abramovich stays, still I don't think that it will be a comfortable ride for him, because things will keep on creeping up. Like when Nizar Kansela tweeted the other day that there are some evidences found that Roman Abramovich has some shares in a company that provides steel for building tanks. So such revelations will be very frequent. And
Mm,
you see, before this all talk of selling Chelsea, the opening statement of every UK assembly was that why Roman Abramovich is not being sanctioned. So his stay will become hell slowly and gradually. Because of the negativity, our sponsors will withdraw their sponsorship.
mm-hmm,
Nike, Three Mobile, who are our shirt sponsors right now, which generate a lot of revenue for us,
mm-hmm,
will take their hands back. What we have seen with Barcelona, which is not a
mm-hmm.
political issue, by the way. The sponsors were threatening to renegotiate their deals because they were not in the Champions League and Messi had left. And this is a much more dent than that episode. So I think to prevent all of this, this decision shows that how much he loves the club. He is letting go of the thing that is his baby, that he has built from ground up. But something bad does not happen to Chelsea, so that's why he's taken this decision. And I think staying is now not an option. So it is very unfortunate, but I don't think I have this hope that we might see him 5 years down the line back in the ownership. Like, he's so passionate about Chelsea, he might buy the club again. But right now, I don't see him staying anyhow.
Yeah, I think you make a great point there. I've actually always talked about hoping and praying that he stays, but I think you make a great point there. The fact that a lot of stuff might begin to surface, and then sponsors will begin to leave the club, and then that will make the whole situation even worse for the club. So the best option would actually be for the man to sell, and that shows how much he loves the club. Now, let's talk about it seems exodus is the term I used for it in my last
Hmm.
video at the last stream. I think that's what it is. Um, we're starting to see that it will most likely be exodus. It will be players. It will be some of the employees, some from the board. For instance, Marina Granovskaya put out a statement that she's going to leave. Paulo Ferreira has
Hmm.
already left. He's actually home already in Portugal. And what's the other man's name? Andre Flo
Hmm.
will also be leaving. I'm asking because I argued before that Roman, given how much he loves the club, that he will most likely ask some of the employees to stay to help make it a smooth transition from Roman to the new owner. Do you think that the departures will cause a problem, especially Marina Granovskaya, who is high ranking? That who know she's a shrewd negotiator. No matter how some people see it, she's a very fine negotiator and has helped us get some great deal. When you think we'll pay 100 million for a player, we get the player for around 40, 50, 60. Kai Havertz, a prime example. Ben Chilwell, another good example. And how much we sold Kai Havertz, we sold Eden Hazard to Real Madrid. Don't you think it will be important for her to stay for a while to help, make the transition smoother?
And definitely, like what Thomas Tuchel had said in his post-match interview, that it does not matter to me. My daily reporting is to Peter Cech and Marina Granovskaya. If those people don't change, I have nothing to worry about. I don't, really pay heed to who sits above them. So if this list of people that you have just mentioned leaves, then we will be
Mm-hmm.
definitely in a soup. Because even if the new owners come in, so they will not know anything about football, and we need people who know something about football. See, people were like, what owners do you want, what owners do you want? Do you want an owner who has a worth of $80 billion, $100 billion, fifty
Yeah,
billion dollars?
I'm going to
See.
ask you that
Hmm,
question. So no,
hmm.
let's not give that one away.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I was just saying that we need people in the club who understand football, uh, who know this club's heritage, who know how the operations of these clubs are run on a day-to-day basis. And for a seamless transition, we definitely need players. Sorry, the people who are well versed in how this club is run. So Marina will be a huge loss. I am definitely, fearing the worst, because we will lose that advantage, that aura that we had in the transfer market as Chelsea Football Club. Because when Chelsea Football Club was involved, something serious is about to go down. We won't have that edge anymore. Because of people who don't know how to negotiate in the transfer market, we would be held at leverage. We would be charged extravagant sum of money for players who might not be, worth that much money, and like that would happen. It would be difficult for us to offload players also, that we do easily these days. So I think it's a very, very sensitive situation right now, and I'm fearing the worst, to be honest. Uh, I can't hear you, bro. I can't hear you.
Oh, so sorry.
Huh.
I had to mute it because I was pouring out another coffee for myself. So I was saying, here's what makes me happy about your last input here is that you understand the importance of Marina Granovskaya. Some people do not see the difference between Marina, the scout, and the players. Whenever we fail to sign a player, the blame in the community always it is Marina. People blame her a lot, but I'm glad you understand that no, she's just a negotiator. The scouts do their job. The manager says, I want this player. The Marina comes in and negotiate and make sure we don't overpay. And you make a great point. I think if we lose her, I think we will be in serious trouble because I think she's great at what she does. And even if we get a DOF, I think it's important to also keep somebody as Marina Granovskaya who will always help us get a good deal. And I'd also, please, before we continue, I'd like to appreciate everybody in the chat. The Queen of Chelsea perspective, Just Viola, is here. Chouameni, Dasha Patel, Mukesh, and if I, by any chance, smother your name, butcher your name, my apologies. Please forgive me. And this brother here, Dashna, says, Chelsea Perspective, come on to Baba's channel and enjoy our discussion. We will see you there. Definitely. I will be there. Just all I need is an invitation. And believe me, you will see me there. So, Baba, let's go to the likely new owner. I think I saw a question here, somebody asking who would prefer to be. Question for you guys. Yes, it is from Freddie Murphy. He says, questions for you guys. Will you take oil owners? So what do you have preferences on who takes over the club?
I don't have any problem if they're oil owners, they are telephone owners, they are chemical owners. Any owner would do. Just the owner should understand the importance the point that I was trying to make was that it does not matter if the owner is worth $80 million, $60 million, $50 million, billion, sorry, not million, $1 billion. The only important thing is that they should understand what football is, and they should be willing to invest in a club and make it a better proposition than what it is right now. Because the thing which I'm hearing right now, the consortium, the team of investors which is coming over to take Chelsea, you don't spend 2.5 to 3 billion pounds just for a bit of fun. They would be looking at their own profits. They would be looking at the club as a profitable business. And once you look a club from the eyes of a business, you're in for trouble. You're in for massive trouble, because the blank checkbook that Roman Abramovich used to keep in his back pocket, that is gone now. The only priority in Roman Abramovich's time was that if we are struggling for a center back, we will have that center back in that next window. If we are struggling with a 70 million pound goalkeeper, he will make sure that we have a absolutely brilliant replacement in terms of Mendy the very next season. Now we will not have that. Case in point, Arsenal and Manchester United. Manchester United are stuck with Fred for last 3-4 years, last 3-4 seasons. Arsenal have not played a Champions League game since Granit Xhaka has arrived. You won't see that with Chelsea. You won't see these clubs, because Manchester United and Arsenal have been there and thereabouts in the top 4 race. So the owners are happy with that. They are getting that revenue. Their clubs are relevant. Their brand image is okay around the world. That's it. But it was more than that for Roman Abramovich. And for us Chelsea fan, that was a huge point of pride. We used to take pride that an owner is passionate. We used to take pride that we don't take 3 or 4 transfer windows to fix our issues. If Alvaro Morata did not work, we offloaded him. We tried Higuain. We tried Giroud. Higuain did not work. Then we got Timo Werner the next season under Lampard's. Then we, in the Lampard second season, we got Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, all these players. When transfer ban was in place, we promoted players from the academy. We had players like Tammy, Reece James, Fikayo Tomori. Now, for example, if new owners are there and a bid of 150 million arrives for Reece James, do you think that we will be in a position to keep Reece James now? I don't think so. We might become a drain pool for all the big clubs out there now. Because
I'm
I
going to be
don't.
honest with you. You're really speaking facts, but the more you speak facts, the more you're scaring the heck out of me. I have to be honest, but go ahead. Go ahead. Go
I,
ahead.
I s-
I mean, you can see just Viola. One of her comments was, "Oh my gosh, this is so depressing." But we have to be factual. We have to be objective. But she's saying she's not saying stop. She's really understanding how severe the situation could get for us. But go ahead, brother. I don't feel like stopping you because you're spitting facts. Yeah.
yes, I was just trying to make this point only that there are examples in front of our eyes that how things go down badly. Because see, there is only a certain limit to which Thomas Tuchel can take this team. Thomas Tuchel can only be there. Okay, people were joking that, oh, you guys should be happy. Thomas Tuchel's job is safe now. No, I don't want manager's job to be safe. I want the manager to be under pressure so he can perform at the highest level. Okay, I absolutely love Thomas Tuchel right now. But what happens if for the next 2 or 3 seasons Thomas Tuchel is not backed in the transfer market? Will he stay there? What will stop Thomas Tuchel to from going to Chelsea to a Real Madrid in the next 2 to 3 seasons if Chelsea are not investing in transfer market properly and are not backing the manager?
Yes, again, you make it's a worrying. That you're speaking the truth, but it's worrying because I'm getting to understand the situation even more, and I want to address this comment on the screen before we continue. It says, "Would you prefer American owners or Saudi owners?" I think we're answering the question, and for me, I'm an American, but I wouldn't want an American to buy that club. Except if it's Elon Musk, but I know that was just a rumor. I know Musk isn't looking to buy Chelsea Football Club.
We
Now,
need people who understand football. That's it.
exactly, people who understand football, it's difficult to find. That's very difficult, and that's why it is really true that you will never get another Roman. So that's why with the options we have right now, I'd rather we go for the Oyo guys who we know they're not doing it for profit. They're just doing it to gain, you could say, global influence, or maybe to polish their image because they have issues. They want to show the world, that is, find something that will help expose them. Because the truth is, without football, without buying a Chelsea Football Club, only a few of us would know who Roman Abramovich is. But with Chelsea, he's become a global figure. Then more people got to know him than just him being one of the richest guys in the world. So I'd prefer us getting Saudis who will know we're coming. They don't want profit. They just want They just want success. They just want the whole world to know. Look, my name is Prince this, Prince A, Prince B, and I, excuse me, and I own Chelsea Football Club. So I wouldn't want an American. I think I'd prefer the Saudi Prince if he's really serious. And let me ask you this, Baba. Now, given the Roman, if you, I believe everybody in the chat, and if you're in the chat, let us know if you'd prefer the Saudi Prince or the Swiss guys and his consortium. And I fear a consortium because the decision making becomes even more difficult. They have to, sit at the round table and decide, okay, this is what we're going to do, and it's dangerous. Now, what I was going to ask you this: we've all read Roman's comments, and his statement shows he really loves the club. He really cares about the club. First, he distanced himself by trying to hand over the club to the the charitable organization or something like that. But it didn't really work. Now he's decided to sell it, and he made it clear that he's selling just for the sake of the club. Do you think he'd be looking for somebody who will really take good care of the club and not just be profit focused? Because if we get an owner who's profit focused, then we probably might get worse than Arsenal and Tottenham or something like that. What do you think?
I think it is very difficult to find someone only who is willing to pay that much amount of money. That 2.5 billion asking price is too much. That what we have been hearing since last couple of weeks, if since the time this news has come up that Roman is about to sell the club. So this valuation, who's going to match? So there is a very few amount of people or consortiums or group of investors, whatever would you like to call it. There are only 2 to 3 people who can do that. And in that 2 to 3 people, if you're trying to find a guy who knows football, then in that in itself becomes a very difficult task. It's not like that what Newcastle did. Like I think Mike Ashley got around 335 million pounds for Newcastle when he sold it to the Saudi group, the public investment fund. But this is 2.5 billion pounds that we are talking about. So first of all, it is very difficult to find a guy who can pay that money. There are not many people who can pay that money in a football club. And running a football club is not a profitable business. It is not a self-sustaining model. Either you can run it as a model, or I can you compete for trophies, and you can really inject your funds into that and make it a superpower. So I don't think we have an option right now as Chelsea fans. We have to accept what owners are coming in, and I don't think Roman also has an option, because see, he is not allowed to own a club. Even if he remains in charge, his stay will be like very very uncomfortable in the UK. So he has got no option, and he cannot just give the club like that. He need to get back something. He has invested for more than 20 years in the club, so he needs something back. So 2.5 billion pounds that he's asking for, he will, I mean, it's fair that what he's demanding. And right now he does not have any option. So I don't think that there are many people, and because it has to be done in such a short period of time, so there is no time for us to find owners who are interested in Chelsea Football Club, who are interested in football, or who are looking to build the club or take the club to the next level. Whatever is coming our way, we have to take that. We have to accept that. We have no option. There is not a choice of preference. We are at this point at mercy of whoever is coming to buy the club.
Oh my goodness! I'm not gonna cry again today. I think you're killing me here, but we have to be
I think
factual and
this
yeah.
is out there, because see, if there is an asset which is up for sale, so there won't be many suitors for that. And if someone is coming to buy it, so you have to accept whatever you're getting it. You cannot be choosy at that point of time that okay, these owners are football related, these owners aren't football related. I pray for my club that the owners that come in now have some sort of interest or inclination of taking it to the next level. And
Mm-hmm.
right now I believe that, now I would like to talk about some positives. I believe now is the time. This was the time, this was the moment of despair that we have readied Cobham for. Now is the time that Cobham takes charge. And if we don't even rely on transfer market, we have enough good players in the academy to make this club relevant. To I think we can rely on on our academy with some signings here and there. What Barcelona has done for last 20, 25, 30 years, we can do it now. We starting now. Cobham has always been a business model for us. What Cobham used to do, we used to cherry pick players or grow players,
Mm-hmm.
send them on loans, increase their valuations, or get players for 1 million, 1.5 million, sell them for 10 million, 12 million. This is how we used to make profits. This process
Mm-hmm.
came under question when we let go of players like Fikayo Tomori, Tariq Lamptey, Tino Livramento, Tammy Abraham. All these players, when we let go of, this model was questioned, because now it is not about profit making. You're letting go of really good players right now. So imagine Mark Gay was an example when he went to Crystal Palace. So imagine if in such a short period of time we created so many good players whose valuation, none of them cost less than 20 million pounds in the market. The collective value is around 100 and 120 million of these players. So imagine if we can year in year out we can produce players like this. So why it's not a possibility that Chelsea can create a team of only consisting of 11 academy graduates and win a Champions League too? I won't be surprised. You see Conor Gallagher, you see Armando Broja. The signs are
Yeah.
very positive. But the thing is how we integrate our academy into our main team. And again, academy should not still be looked at a business model or a profitable entity which we can milk for extra profits. Either
Mm-hmm.
you go back to the way like you're doing it right now, don't change anything, which I don't see a possibility. Things will change. So you have to, I mean, you have to have people who look at the academy, who value the academy, and people who can communicate the importance of academy to the owners. Let's see, Chelsea has this amazing academy. Even if you don't support us in the transfer market, we can develop our players. We can bring in some really good players from the academy. So this should be the process or the positives that we should take as Chelsea fans going forward.
I think we're lucky to have such a very good academy. It produces, the best in the whole world. If you ask me, there's hardly a team in the that is count 5 teams and not found one that has a former Chelsea player or a Chelsea player who's on loan or something like that. I think that would go a long way for us. Baba, can you quickly address this question on the screen, because I'm not sure the individual that Jose Viola is referring to.
Yes, actually, I am. He is the richest Indian and one of the richest Asian. I think he is the richest Asian, if I'm not wrong. So
Mhm.
he is a big business tycoon in India, and he owns a couple of sports team also, one in football and one in cricket. So he has this connection with sports. But I am very skeptical about the things. His team, by the way, won the last season's ISL, which is the Indian Super League, the football
Mhm.
tournament that happens
Mhm.
here, Mumbai City FC. So he is a owner in that. So, but I still think that English football, European football is a different ball game, and people who are well versed in this field should be taking charge rather than a owner coming out of his comfort zone and who is not well versed with this ecosystem.
Mm. Yeah, I think. Thank you for that answer. We will be taking looking at a lot of the comments in the chat, because this is designed to be an interactive show. So from Manav, he says, would you like an owner like Nasser, PSG owner, who literally showers money on PSG, but their purchases don't make a lot of sense? Here's one thing again we must bear in mind. There's been a restructure of the FFP. So how much you have doesn't really mean you can spend it on the club. You must find a way to circumvent or to navigate the rules and not, get into trouble just like Manchester City did. But what do you have to say? Does the owners, that is the new owner, does how much the person have really matter? Since given the restructure of the FFP and now that is these days, if you I think the new rule says if you spend some amount of money, you'll be taxed what's called a luxury tax. You'll be spending quite a lot. So clubs will be very, very careful on how much they spend. So what do you think?
I think you have summed it up quite well. It does not matter how much money you have, since the rules are in place. And I think we were in the breach of FFP and some this what do you call homegrown players policy, because we had the
Yes.
transfer ban.
Mm-hmm.
So we have faced the brunt of it. So definitely it's a real thing, but people don't take it seriously because Manchester City somehow got away with that. So I think obviously you see PSG, but at the time when all these players were being signed, no one raised a question. It was like that after only the PSG team did not perform that well on the field and Pochettino was not able to make these players kick all at the same time. Then only the whisper started becoming louder that okay, buying the superstars all the time might not work. So I
Mm-hmm.
think no one objects when a Lionel Messi is available in the transfer market and your club is going after him. I mean, who would not want Lionel Messi in their team, or Sergio Ramos or Ashraf Hakimi,
Mm-hmm.
if you
Mm-hmm.
are able to pay that sum of money and within the confines of the fair play. So I think what Khalifi has done, you should look at it at commercial level also, because if you look at from the PSG's fans point of view, anyways you're winning the league. So you have a sort of success, you have some success coming your way this season. They are winning the league one no matter what. Champions League, they absolutely killed it in the first leg against Real Madrid. So there are some signs which are positive.
Mhm.
So now, if PSG are able to get to a final or a semi-final of a Champions League, and they're able to win the league over there in France, so I don't think that many questions will be asked of their transfer policies and the way they have spent in the summer. And it would be like, okay, the spending and all these things are justified.
Yeah, great point right there. I want to say something about this comment on the screen, which says at least for the next 5 years we can win trophies. We are financially stable. No, at this point, given the loss this past year, we're not financially stable. We're
Mhm.
minus 140 million plus, and that's a huge issue. So let's, from this comment right here on the screen, Baba, let's transition into how that loss this past year will affect our transfer plans, because a new owner or a consortium who are, that is the new owners who are concerned about, that is who are profit focused, comes in, they look at things and say, okay, we're not going to spend that much in the transfer market. First, let's break even.
Hmm.
So do
Yes.
you think there's a chance that is the
Yes.
sale of the club will affect our transfer plans?
It's definitely. See, because uh, you're talking about players like Declan Rice, Jules Kounde, players with which we were linked. So you forget about getting 85 million Declan Rice right now.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a challenge for us to pursue a 46 million Jules Kounde right now. We won't be able to get players who demand high wages. I think Lukaku for some time will be our most expensive signing. I don't think this record will be broken anytime soon, unless the
Mm-hmm.
owners are really, into the club and they really want this to happen. So I see a lot of academy graduates coming in to the first team. And as I said earlier too, that if a consortium or a group of investors come, they won't spend 2.5 million to 3 billion pounds just for fun. They will be looking this as a business model. So as you rightly said, that first we come at a break even, then we will see what we can do with the profits, and if our pockets allow us to spend something in the transfer market, then we will take it one season at a time. But now, let alone spending in the market, now will we be able to hold the players that we are currently struggling with to offer contracts like
Yes, go
Christensen,
ahead, talk
Rudiger, all?
about that. Talk about that, Robert.
Yes, bilkul. So if we talk about Christensen, so see, like Christensen, I am quite disappointed with his like approach and whatever I've been hearing,
Mm-hmm.
with the statements that have surfaced. So Christensen, I'm really not bothered. Even if he leaves, he leaves. I don't care. But Aspilicueta and Rudiger is a huge issue. I think Rudiger is a massive player for us right now. We should do everything in our power to make that guy stay. But again, this becomes an issue when the player becomes, even if we are able to pursue Rudiger to stay somehow, then for example, if some of the players become very big in the future, like you talk about Reece James, you talk about Kai Havertz, to talk about Mason Mount, will this club and will this group of new consortium will be ready to meet their demands of their wages, whatever their agents and they will ask? So again, we will be in a position when the players contracts are running out, they will be in a position of power to negotiate with us. And the reverse, the other way around, if we have some idiots running the place, then we can also offer players unlimited wages and extravagant wages what they demand, and then also it can lead us into a financial trouble, what we have seen with Barcelona. So we need a balance, and that balance was the thing, that rigid wage structure that Chelsea had, which had kept us afloat so many years, even with spending so much heavily in the transfer market. So now it becomes a, a conundrum, a very complex situation, that how the dynamics of Chelsea transfers, player contracts, the wages, and all of these things will, work. So I think we can do a separate podcast of around 2 to 3 hours on this situation alone.
Yeah, I think you're right. You hit the nail right on the head there. And again, I have to say something about Andreas Christensen. I am very disappointed,
Hmm.
because I thought before he's Chelsea through and through, that eventually they will come to an agreement. But he's been everywhere, practically. Today it's gonna work out. We'll have an agreement on the table tomorrow. He's changed his mind. He's changed his agent from his father to somebody else. I think I am so disappointed in Andreas Christensen. And if anybody, if you truly love the club, this is the time to show it. And I think he will not be forgiven. Even though, yeah, he said he wouldn't join any Premier League team out of respect for Chelsea, but that is nothing now. As long as he's leaving the club, that's a huge issue. Whatever he's achieved at Chelsea, it's you could say down the drain if you want. Now, Baba, let's talk about Timo Werner, who's been linked to Dortmund. Uh, I don't know how serious that is. Maybe it's just a rumor. First, before we talk about whether we should keep him or let him go, how would you rate Timo Werner's first season? Is it first season already? Yeah, first, he's in the second season, right? How would you rate his Chelsea career overall ever since? To me, I would say it's not bad. How about you? How would you rate it?
I think it's quite comparable to Fernando Torres' Chelsea career. Quite comparable. We had these expectations. We had this player who was scoring goals left, right, and center. Fernando Torres was already established striker. Timo Werner was on his way to becoming that striker, where signs were there, quite positives. Has been really good for us in some of the big games. Hasn't showed consistency over a longer period of time. Like will score in 2-3 games, but then will go absolutely silent in 10 games. Is a selfless player. Is absolutely selfless runner. Is willing to put everything for the team. His defensive output is really great. All the Torres signs are there. So Torres was also selfless runner. He used to run on the pitch every time, even if he was not playing. You could see the effort that Torres used to put on the field. So I think it is comparable to that. It's not bad, as you said, but it is underwhelming. You have to accept the fact that it does not match the expectations of the Chelsea fans. And I don't know what is this with strikers and Chelsea. I mean, every forward that comes to Chelsea suddenly forget their finishing boots. And the kind of chances that Timo Werner has missed in some of the games has been absolutely unbelievable. So I think if we look at the other players, talking about Timo, I will now transition into Timo Werner's potential transfer to Dortmund. So if we talk about the other forwards that we have, like we have Christian Pulisic, we have Hakim Ziyech right now. Hakim Ziyech has been our best player since last 2 months. He has been our best player. If you talk about that game against Spurs, in which he scored an absolute worldie, and the other games too, against Crystal Palace also, he got us a late winner. So he has been there. He has been a very crucial player for us. So I think if we are to go with the four at the back next season, then Hakim Ziyech becomes a very important player playing out wide at the right hand side of the field. And Hakim Ziyech has shown that what extra he can bring onto the pitch. I think Pulisic and Werner are quite similar players. I think Pulisic is a better dribbler than Werner. Werner has that explosive pace, and his off the ball movement is very,
Werner is
very
actually
quick.
awful 1v1. I have to say that.
Yes, he cannot beat a man in a 1v1 fight. But if you are to partner someone with Lukaku for a long term, I think Werner could be that man. But again, you have a Kai Havertz with you. So Kai Havertz has been also really fantastic. You can play Kai Havertz alongside Lukaku in that strike partnership. So there is not a single place on the field in which Werner would be my first selection now. The kind of form other players are in. Christian Pulisic is a very versatile player. He can play on the right. He can play as a lone man up front, and he can also be used as a wing back. I think he is the only player in the world who has played a striker and then a wing back in the same game. I'm talking about that Liverpool 2-2 draw at Stamford Bridge. So he has that versatility. He brings a lot to the table. So I think if I were to let go of a player of all these names that I've mentioned, I don't want him to leave, but I think Werner will leave definitely.
Yeah, as a German international, I think he can only for just not he will not for a long time accept sitting on the benches and then only playing a few games here and there, and usually cup games. To me, overall, given that, correct me if I'm wrong, Timo was that is the most assists last season. He has the most assists last season, and he scored a few important goals too. I think to me, I would say not bad. He could have done better, and I wouldn't blame him for the situation. And if he wants to leave, I think we should just let him go, make some money off of him, because if the situation continues, he would just run down his contract and then leave on a cheap or on a free if possible. And unfortunately for us, in a few months, we probably will not have Marina at the club to sort things out quickly. Now, Baba, I don't know if you know how Real Madrid and Barca, how those two clubs are structured. If you know, please can you help with this comment on the screen?
Yes, they are socio-owned clubs in which part of the club is with the board of directors and part of the club is with the fans. So basically, it's a structure which allows the fans to have a say. And you don't have a owner in these clubs. You have a board of directors
Mm-hmm.
who select a president with a voting process.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing is there in Germany also, with a 51-49% partnership. Like 51% of the club is owned by the fans, 49% club is owned by the board of directors, or rather they have a say in the decision making. So I think it works when you're looking at a long term success, and if you are making your club sustainable in the modern game. But a single owner system helps you to grow your club very quickly, because in this model that I've just spoken about, you have to depend on a lot of factors. So there are both positive and negatives about both the models. So it what suits you the best. But I think this model always works. It makes sure that you become relevant, and you're not dependent on any single organization or consortiums or a single owner's money to make you that superpower. So that is a huge advantage of that other model.
Yeah. Thank you very much for taking some time to explain that. And Star, please, whatever it was that you told me in the morning that I'm ignoring, please let me know. Spill it in the chat so we can talk about it. I'm only human, and it's still early morning here, so 3:42 a.m. So there's a chance I didn't see that part. But if you can talk about it here, we put it in the chat. We can talk about it. And I have a great guest here who's very knowledgeable of the club structure and everything. Why not super chat? Because I'm not up to that level at this point. I'm pretty, relatively
Pretty,
new, not even a year in a few days.
pretty soon we will be there.
Pretty soon,
No.
yeah. And please, I thank everyone. I thank everybody in the chat who followed Drug Baba to Chelsea Perspective. I appreciate you. That means a lot to me. And if you haven't, please smash that like button and subscribe to Chelsea Perspective. And believe me, you will not be disappointed because we are cooking a lot of good content here. And Drug Baba makes this one a very, very delicious stream, if I'm allowed to phrase it that way. So I'm happy to have Drop Baba in the house. Zabi will take care of Christensen. Yeah, thank you. I understand you're a Barca fan. I think you're getting a fine player. We're just not happy the way he's behaved in terms of the contract and negotiations. He's changed his mind like a zillion times, if you ask me. And this brother say, okay, Isaac can be the Kosovo, possibly. I'm not sure.
I'm also not sure about Isaac.
As a fan, you guys will give another season on Lukaku. That is, if he starts doing what we spent 100 million plus for him, he gets a chance. But if he continues, I think we're seeing signs that things could change for good. Tuchel is really trying to make it work. What do you think about Lukaku's situation? Do you think the situation will eventually change? Because it looks like his body language has improved.
Yes, and he was very unlucky in that Liverpool game in the Carabao Cup final, that he was offside by a slightest of the margin. Imagine if
Mm,
his goal would have stood and the score would have said Chelsea won 1-0 with a Romelu Lukaku late winner. So it would have
mm,
turned a new page in his Chelsea chapter, and he would have been adored by the fans. All his that interview fiasco would have been forgotten by all the Chelsea fans. Even when he scored in that Club World Cup final, we were like, okay, whatever has happened. But now, and see, for Chelsea fans, everyone was angry at his interview. I also remember, I also quite explicitly had made a video about my reaction after hearing what he had said about Inter Milan and that Chelsea thing, all those things. But now, for Chelsea's sake and for us to win any silverware this season, we have to back Lukaku. We have to support a striker. And even if he is not performing to that level, we have to back him, because if Chelsea have to do well, we need Lukaku scoring goals now. So we have no option but to back him right now. And definitely talking about another season, I think he's a player. He's a massive player. And he can be a Chelsea legend, I would not say, because the legend words get thrown around too much, but he can be a
mm.
Chelsea player who bleeds blue. So I just need Even if he does not score those many goals, see, what we need is Chelsea for the last 15-20 years hasn't relied on prolific goal scorers per se. See, if we talk about Drogba has scored 164 goals in the 8 years that he has played, which is not a world beater performance. He has won only two golden boots in 2007 and 2010. Apart from those seasons, he only used to score 10 12 goals every season. But those goals were of huge importance. He used to score in big cup finals. He used to create chances for a lot of people. We had Frank Lampard who used to score 20 goals, 15 goals every season. And this is the case with Chelsea. I think it's Chelsea DNA that we don't rely on strikers every season. We need strikers who need to fire in big games. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that is something that we can also do without, till the time the striker is playing well and is helping out the team. So it's not just about scoring goals and providing numbers or providing assists on the field. The body language that you have mentioned, I'm happy that how he has performed, and he was quite well also in the game against Liverpool. So I think all these things matter, and it would be an added bonus if we started scoring goals too. So I see that happening, and as Chelsea fans, I have said so many negative things, but this is some positive that I need to take away with me, and I can just hope that all these things come to the fore, and all the players who are being not performing to that level start to take responsibility and take team forward.
Yeah, I do hope the situation changes because we cannot find a buyer at what price if we want to sell.
Mhm.
I think I'm still hopeful. He wasn't my first choice, but he wasn't the first choice of most Chelsea fans. But he's already here. We have to support him. I think we should try quickly breeze through that's the comments in the chat, and maybe answer one more question or two. We have just a few minutes to round up. This one says, do you see Roman coming back to Chelsea? That's a
I hope it happens.
possibility.
I
Yeah,
hope it
exactly.
happens.
I hope that happens. Maybe his son could come back. Yeah, maybe, you never know. But the chance is bleak because if the club is sold to another owner with no agreement, you coming. I think it's very difficult. But you'd see him in the stands watching Chelsea games in outside, especially outside the UK. And if there's a possibility for him to come into the UK and watch games, I think he'd do it. He loves the club that much. Stavia says Rudiger now concerned about his ability to stay.
Everyone will be concerned about their abilities to stay now.
Yeah,
I'm
well, in
not even
terms of
surprised.
yeah, but
Yes.
in his case, the fact that he's out of contract by the end of the season, what do you think?
It was very difficult as it is with Roman also to pursue Rudiger to stay. But now the tables have turned massively. And see, I am fearing the worst, that we could see Christensen, Aspilicueta, and Rudiger go, and not
Hmm.
even a single player might arrive at the club in summer. That is a alarm bells ringing right there, because we cannot rely on Thiago Silva to command this defense on his own. Who would be left with? Chaloba and Thiago Silva. That's it. These are the only two centre backs that we will have if these three are gone. What we will do next? Then we have to look at our
It is
academy.
really, really a very serious situation.
Hmm. So let's hope for the best as
Yeah.
Chelsea fans, and
How
just
about
hope
this
that,
comment here? I saw
yes.
something. Yeah, that's. I think we can only hope and pray. Who do you see as a threat to acquire Rudiger? I'm not sure I understand this comment here. Do you?
I think this question is about which club do you think that is well poised to sign Rudiger if Chelsea are not able to keep a hold of him. So I think he was being
Um.
linked to Bayern Munich, Real, because Christian Sula
Mm,
is going to, sorry, Nicolas Sula is going to Dortmund. So Bayern will need to get a centre back in summer. So Rudiger becomes a perfect fit there. He's German. He will go to a biggest club, one of the biggest club in Europe. So it's a
mhm.
recipe for success, an instant success. Rudiger coming
Yeah.
going back to Germany, to one of the biggest clubs, and to potentially his last big contract before he retires.
Yeah. Given his age, he's 29
Mm.
now, right?
So he will get a one big contract of 3-4 years till he's 33,
Yeah.
34.
And I think Rudiger most likely will stay. I think he's always playing the
I
hard
hope he
game
does.
just to get more.
I hope he
I don't think
does.
he leaves. His family is settled in London. He has kids, and moving, especially moving to countries where they don't speak English, that's not good to bring up children. I think he stays. If he leaves, then we're in serious trouble. Rudiger will be very difficult to replace. We have Chichi in the house. Chichi Dalo, always good to see you in the house. There's no striker cost. Yeah, it depends on how you see it and who you ask. Hit the like button. Thank you for that, Chichi. And let's see if we can find something else, something interesting to talk about here. I'm not angry at the interview. Okay, this is just the exchange and they're talking between themselves. Would Aspilicueta stay, or he has a plan for Baka and Kounde is confirmed? Aspi, I think he's a great professional. I
Very
think he
difficult.
may, if he can get what he wants, because in the end, most importantly, you must understand that football is what these guys do for a living. You, as somebody who works for a company or an employer, if you get a better offer somewhere else, you go. That's it. So, and Chelsea are always reluctant to offer long-term contracts players that are over the 30 and on. So I think it's a very difficult one to say. I think he'd prefer to go where he get a long-term contract and a better pay, and I don't think Chelsea will be willing to offer him that at this point. Except if the new owners see the importance of keeping him, to have consistency at least in the squad, not just in the area of the employers. What do you employees, so to speak? What do you think, Baba?
I think we need a leader, because these uncertain times we need someone who knows Chelsea inside out, who has been a part of this institution since last 10 years. So
Mm-hmm.
if Aspilicueta goes, then who is left to play that role of a leader? Because Jorginho, I don't think is a long-term player, is a long-term Chelsea player, because his links with Juventus are really becoming strong day by day. So Jorginho, I don't think he stays. Then you have Thiago Silva, who is at fag end of his career. I think 1 or 2 seasons maximum he can play with us, and he's not a Chelsea born and brought player. Like, he did not hit his prime with Chelsea. I absolutely love Thiago Silva. He is a Chelsea legend in my books, but you cannot rely on Thiago Silva to command these players on his own. So you need the spine of 3, 4, 5 senior players in the team. Like, for example, Rudiger, we have Jorginho, we have Kante, we have Aspilicueta.
Mm-hmm.
Mendy is also now becoming a part of that group to command these players. Then Lukaku might develop in 2, 3 years as that leader figure in the squad if everything goes well. Because even if you see the success behind Chelsea's trophies was, even if the managers were being sacked, you had that spine of Drogba, Lampard, John Terry, Peter Cech, Ashley Cole. These players were constantly there, even if those managers were, coming and going around them. You talk about Mourinho, you talk about Scolari, you talk about Avram Grant, Rafa Benitez, Roberto Di Matteo, Carlo Ancelotti. All these players were there and they were in their prime. So we went through that period seamlessly because there were players who were able to adapt themselves because they wanted the best for the club and they knew they had that potential. So will this spine now, translate that success which we have seen under those 5, 6 players? So this is also a problem that we are not addressing as Chelsea fans, that where are the leaders, where is the spine?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. We need that spine, and I think one of the issues we had after the era of Frank Lampard and Didier Drogba was letting most of them go. So we lost that grit, we lost that aggression, we lost that spirit that Chelsea are known for. Then we got Oscar. We spent money getting players with lots of flair, with no leadership. We had issues then, building a strong team. That was why it took Mourinho another year, and he looked at it and probably knew immediately it would take another year. That was when he made that statement that he has little horses, but next season these little horses will perform. I think we have to be careful even when we decide, to rebuild a team. We need some measure of consistency, leadership, spine, like you called it. That does go a long way. And let me see if we find another interesting comment here to deal with. Then, if not, we can talk about something else. We have just about 6 minutes to round up. I missed your point about Rudiger. Then, please do help me understand it even better so we can talk about it. Um, CFC Jay-Z says Aspie has earned the right to make whatever decisions he wants. That's the truth. I think, and again, maybe if that policy of not giving players over the age of 30 long-term contracts, maybe if it changes under the new owner, if that doesn't change, I'd say just let him go. If that's not going to change, let him go, because the relationship will not be rosy forever. At the time, it will break down because he would want something more and would be willing to give him just a year extension, and that's not okay. If we really love the guy, let him go and earn more money somewhere else and find a solution if we cannot give him what he wants. I think that's a good comment there by Jay from CFC Fahim, another great channel. And please, I want to say this. I know lots of you here followed Baba to Chelsea Perspective, and please do me a favor, smash that like button. And more importantly, I must let you know I appreciate you following Baba to this show. It is a daily show. It's called the Blue Morning Show. It starts 3 a.m. UK, 11 a.m. UK every day. And I hope you are enjoying yourself. As for me, I just wish I was one of you guys in the chat because Baba has been great. It's been a delicious show so far. And let us know if you're enjoying it also. Steve Chelsea says, I think Aspie deserves 2-year contract. In Chelsea, we hardly give our legends, players 2-year contracts.
We are already offering him a 2-year contract, but Barca is giving him
probably he wants more.
Yes, Barca is giving him a 3-year contract. Same with Willian also. We gave Willian a 2-year contract. He did not accept it and went to Arsenal, who were willing to offer him a 3-year contract. So if we match a 3-year contract, I think he will stay. But we don't have that policy. But now the situations have changed so drastically, so we have to look at other factors also. So I think we should, reconsider a decision of offering him a 2-year contract.
Yeah, I think, and that will not change until the transfer or the ownership changes. So that's, I think, Baba, you're getting Kounde next season. Now, without Abramovich, how is it going to affect summer transfer? I'm going to let Baba talk, but the Kounde that is signing, I don't think it will be looking more unlikely if you ask me. It depends on who the next owner is. What do you think, Baba?
Yeah, again, I want to when new owners take charge, I just want to hear what their statement will be, their first statement will be, and what their mannerisms are in first 2-3 months. We will get to know more about them. June is a long way from right now. It's 3-4 months from now. So things can change massively in this period of time. So we are so pessimistic right now because we are fearing the worst, that owners will come and will put a lock to every money chest that we have, every transfer policy that we have. You can also hope for the best, and owners might look at this way. Okay, this team is already in a good shape with 3-4 proper additions right now in summer transfer market. We can really go for it, and there the role of all these technical players who are already associated with the club come into play. So let's hope what happens. But right now, everything is a speculation. And we have already discussed that we are fearing for the worst. This might not happen, but let's be positive and let's, just not write off the owners right off the bat, right? Like they will not do anything good. Let's give them that time to prove themselves.
Yeah. How about this comment on the screen? What do you think? No player will renew until new ownership takes over. Does that sound that?
I think that is where the owners' role come into play, because they also are quite aware that if they don't have a proper team, there is no point on taking over such a huge club, and they need to keep this club competitive. They need to keep this club relevant, and for that you need players. You need absolutely amazing set of players that we have right now. So this is the awareness that new owners have, and because I say this because there was a tweet that Matt Law made in which it was told that the new owners are really valuing Marina and they want her to stay in her job because they know that a huge gap, a huge void will be there when she leaves. So at least if they don't know about football, they are willing to accept the fact that there are smarter people who know about football and they can, really handle the club well. So it's not about, being rich. It's all about surrounding yourself with the smarter people than you. Then only you'll succeed, I think. It is not in the case of football club, it is in all walks of life. You have to surround yourself with people who are smarter than you.
Yeah,
That is how
that's
the
the
things
truth.
work.
To do better, but some people wouldn't want to stay around people that are smarter than them. But I think the better thing to do would be to have smarter people around you so you can grow. We will try as much as we can to get through all the inputs in the chat because this was designed to be an interactive show. Over to you. This one on the screen. Do you reckon Kante will end up as an exception regardless of injuries? He's probably our biggest asset. What do you think, Drobaba?
uh, Exception as in Kante's transfer, if we're talking about? I
His
did not get the question.
abilities, yeah, exception in
Okay,
terms
as a
of
player, we are talking
transfer
about
and
Kante as a
also
player.
transfer, yeah, in
Kante
terms
as a
of
player
transfer.
is Kante as a player is absolutely, like, we talk about this. We get this word generational. We use this word generational a lot. That this guy is a generational talent. That guy is a generational talent. N'Golo Kante is a generational talent. You won't have another N'Golo Kante for I don't know how many years. You don't have a player of N'Golo Kante's profile right now in
Mhm.
world football. So he's that one of a kind player. And as for transfer, I think N'Golo Kante is someone who I think we can, take the best out of for another 2 to 3 years, because he is now getting injured very frequently. Because the style of play that he has right now, it is very susceptible and prone to injuries because he does not hold back when he's running, when he's diving into those tackles. So I think Kante we will have for another 2 to 3 years, but I don't see that we will offer Kante another long-term contract. But as far as Kante the player is concerned, an absolute Chelsea legend, he is in my all-time Chelsea 11 without a shadow of a doubt.
He's irreplaceable. He's
He's
absolutely
irreplaceable,
irreplaceable.
absolutely.
And I like
Mm.
to recognize the presence of my brother and a friend who's become a brother over time, Einkit.
Mm.
Always good to see you from Almighty Blues FC. And also, before we continue, please, if you haven't, please smash that like button and subscribe to Chelsea Perspective if you haven't. And also, thank you again to all those that follow Drug Baba to Chelsea Perspective. I hope you are enjoying this delicious stream. And to me, I am enjoying it so much so that I wish that I was in the chart with you guys. But that's, by the way, we're going to try again to go through the comments and pick Baba. We want Aspi. Mikhail says we can only hope Czech stays on to provide some semblance of continuity in the immediate future. That's a great input there. Continuity is important so we don't start afresh. My brother here says let's all smash that like button. Consider to subscribe in any case, if in case you haven't. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. This is just pleasantry between those in the chat. Let me see if we have any other input there quickly. I just want some sports company or sports enthusiast persons, but Chelsea, so they're all in and out of this. Okay. What's with the contract situation of Rudiger? I'm not sure. Any update there from you, Baba?
No, 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 nothing as of now. It says it's the same what it was a few days ago.
Okay. Is there any possibility of returning back
Yes,
Conor
yes, yes.
Gallagher next?
He,
Oh,
yes, yes.
absolutely. You go ahead. Let me let you talk about it. I see how your face lit up the moment that comment showed on the screen. Go ahead, Baba. You take care of that one. I leave it to you.
See, what we have right now, an interesting situation. If Jorginho leaves this summer,
Mm,
then there is a gap in the midfield. And say if we are not able to, get another replacement or another recruitment in
mm-hmm,
the meantime. So what we can do is, first of all, with Gallagher, we have a perfect backup or a foil or a competitor in the squad for Mason Mount, because Mason Mount right now is one of a kind player who plays behind those two strikers, and we really struggle when Mason Mount is not there or when he's not fit, because we struggle
mm-hmm.
that pressing from the top. We struggle with the creativity, with the link up play, with the overloads that we have to create on the flanks. When Mason Mount is not there, it is very difficult to do that. With Conor Gallagher, we will have a very good option. And he is a very versatile midfielder also. He can play deep, he can play behind the striker. If we are to go with a four at the back next season, just imagine a midfield of Kante, Mount, and Gallagher.
And I
Absolutely
think
amazing.
he's better than Mason Mount technically, don't you think?
I don't like to draw comparisons. I just think that both players are equally good in their own abilities. I just love both of them. But I think to make the squad better and to take the squad to a next level, the competition should always be there. Case in point, Manchester City. The competition is immense in that squad. Players have to play out of their skin to make it to the playing 11. And you never know
Hmm.
what Pep Guardiola will pick his front six. Teams have front three. Manchester City have a front six because I've seen
Yeah.
De Bruyne playing as a false nine, then a number six in the very next game. So Conor Gallagher's provides you that. Not comparing Gallagher to De Bruyne, just comparing the squad depth, guys. Don't go after me. I
But
know you will.
he has the potential to get to that level, if you
Yes,
ask me.
and same goes for Anwando Broha because we need a proper number nine, a perfect replacement for Lukaku. Even if in case Lukaku does not work out next season, also we will have someone on the bench, and we have to make some hard decisions. We have to let the likes of Loftus-Cheek, Ross Barkley, and all these players, Saul, all these players go to make space for all these players because Loftus-Cheek, see, Chelsea fans adore him, but I have run out of patience with Loftus-Cheek and Hudson-Odoi, to be honest. They have been there, but they have not developed. If you see the other players in their age group, they have developed
Yeah.
and they have reached the next level. If we talk about Phil Foden, we talk about Marcus
Hmm.
Rashford, Mason
Yeah.
Greenwood before all this thing came up, this unfortunate incident that happened. So all these
Yeah.
players, are improving season on season. Hudson Odoi and Loftus Cheek are still in 2019.
Yeah, just quickly, that's a great input right there, and I am really enjoying myself. But we cannot go on forever. Just a few minutes. One more last question that we can go. But on the screen, what do you think about this comment on the screen?
Conor McGregor.
This one here. No. This comment here.
First step from the owners.
Yes, I think that's possibly the question from the new owners. What do you think the first step will be?
As I said previously, also just don't change too much in terms of the operation of the club. uh, Identify that what all people are doing, what all jobs right now. You don't change and disturb a system which is self sustainable at this point, which is in an auto run mode, and you value people who have made Chelsea what it is right now. For example, Bruce Buck, Marina Granovskaya, Peter Cech, Emma Hayes, all these people you have to respect and you have to give them that freedom so that they also don't feel that a huge transition has taken place, and they are being given that respect, that sense of responsibility, and that sense of belonging, that the club is still theirs, only the ownership has changed, nothing much has changed. Then definitely, if this happens, then definitely we would see that Chelsea will not face so many problems.
Yes, I can't show getting a loan finally, but RLC is our future center back. Okay, we'll see about that. So, Baba, quickly, I think we've moved from the chat, except if you see anything that interests you and you want me to highlight, so you talk about it. Let's quickly go to, we're not going to talk about Jules Kounde. Let's talk about AC Milan, who there are rumors that they could terminate Tiemoue Bakayoko's loan. If that is the case, what do we do with him? Because it's looking like a 35 million plus pound signing that we're not going to get anything from because his contract is probably running down to zero right now. So can we round off with that one? Except if you want any after that, if you have anything else you want to talk about that's current, up to you.
I think Bakayoko is one of those unfortunate things that did not work out for the player. I'm saying I have to feel for the player. You have to feel for the player because he was a beast in Monaco, the team that had won the league. So we really thought that a good player is coming up, but sometimes it happens that a player is not able to settle down in an environment. His mentality takes a toll, and you have to just feel for the guy. I mean, what a player he was 4 years ago and what he is right now. But from Chelsea's point of view, from squad point of view, from business point of view, I think there is no option but to let him go now. And I think he will find some suitors. He might go back to the French league, play in a mid-table team there, might revive his career, and at least be on his way to become a decent player and at least be a regular feature in that France squad, which is already stacked with so many talented players. So
Yes.
Bakayoko is gone. I think it's a that ship has sailed and it's a case beyond saving for me. I don't see him integrating into a team because he had a very poor preseason also. Tuchel gave him a fair chance, but he did not perform. Even Drinkwater was better than him in the preseason. I watched all the preseason games this time round. Drinkwater was quite decent in the preseason games. But it
Mhm.
sometimes things don't work out, and unfortunately, Bakayoko is a case in that.
And the most annoying thing is that we're stuck with these guys because most of them are on have very high wages, and the
Hmm.
clubs that would want to take them on loan, they decide otherwise because it's
Hmm.
expensive. And when I just don't know what we're gonna do with those guys.
Hmm.
And Baba, see if you want to address anything in the chat. If not, I think we can call it a day. And again, thank you to everybody that followed Baba to
Hmm.
Chelsea Perspective. I hope you're enjoying the show.
Hmm.
I hope we've done our best to entertain you. We've been as subjective as possible, and I hope we are as factual as you would want. And please let us know if you're enjoying yourself. Please smash that like button, and more importantly, subscribe to Chelsea Perspective if you haven't, and click on the bell notification button so that whenever we go live here, you will be notified, or whenever we release a new video, you will be notified. So drop by any other comment you'd like to address. If not, we can call it a day.
Yes, just like I was reading a comment regarding the bid that the new consortium is submitting this weekend. So, see, it's a very difficult time for all the Chelsea fans, as we have discussed, and we have also discussed what could go wrong and how it could go wrong. All of those are
Mm-hmm.
facts. But still, we have to keep hope. We cannot, just write the new owners off. In any ways, we are fearing the worst, so just keep the hope alive, the faith alive, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever happens to this club, even if we finish 12th, 10th, 15th, get relegated, we should not stop supporting our club. We should not stop, we should not start turning our backs towards our club, because when you were happy, when your club won, then you should be in the times supporting your club when all the things are going bad. And not necessarily the things will go bad, just keep some faith, and everything happens for a reason. And I hope these reasons for which this is happening bring us a lot of success in terms of the trophies.
Yeah, thank you very much for taking some time to say that. I think we should be. No, I mean it's a dark moment for us, but we have to move on. No matter the situation, I think we will overcome. And I had Bobby, and I had staff the other day who supported Chelsea from the 1970s or 60s, and they talked about what Chelsea have been through, even even darker periods than this time.
Hmm.
We've
Hmm.
overcome, and the club is still here. I think we will overcome, and I think Roman will definitely prioritize a new owner who will take care of Chelsea Football Club. Again, thank you to everyone in the chat, and thank you again. I cannot thank you enough, Jod Baba.
No
You've been
problem,
great.
bro.
You
And
you
guys, those who are new to the stream, those who have followed me here, please, guys, subscribe to Chelsea Perspective, an absolutely brilliant channel. The kind of effort all of the content creators put out for you, it's absolutely amazing. So please, it would be a really help to us. And if you could, just subscribe to the channel, like the stream, because it really helps us out. It really motivates us to,
yes.
bring the content out to all of you. And we are doing it for the passion, for the game, for the club that we love, Chelsea FC. So please show us some support, show us some love, not just to me, to Almighty Blues FC, to Chelsea Perspective, but to all the fellow
Yes.
content creators who have joined us in the chat. So
Yep.
please, guys, check out the channels. And definitely, if you come to a stream or to a live session or discussion, you will definitely take something away. And I hope you have taken a lot away from today's session also.
I told you I enjoyed it so much. I wish
Mm.
I was in the
Mm.
chat with them. And
Mm.
also check out CFC Fahim. Check out Tyrone Talks. Check out I think every Chelsea content creator, check them out. Almighty Blues, like he mentioned, my friend who over time has become a brother. And go, if you're here and you're not subscribed to Drug Barber's channel, go check it out. I believe you will love it. And I'll provide his complete information in the description section so that you can go and check it out. And with that, I say Thank you very much, guys, for the support today. It's been enormous, and I loved it. And I hope to bring Job Baba again back to Chelsea
Definitely.
Perspective.
Had
So
a
see
lot
you
of
guys.
fun.
Thank you.
Up,
See you guys
up the
next time,
Chels.
and God bless you all. And up the
Up the
Chelsea.
Chels. Up the Chels.
Bye.